With many believing Paige is heading to AEW and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for June 11. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With him previously encouraging Cody Rhodes to leave AEW for WWE, Matt Cardona gave his thoughts on his friend's comeback and his injury. What a night for Cody and what a return it's been, and he's proven himself, which he has in the past before, but I think right now it's truly his time. He's one of my closest buddies and I'm very happy for him, and he's doing his thing and he's doing it his way, and more power to him. It's super cool that he was able to bring his music and his logos and his nickname. It's his package, so hypothetically, if I were to ever go back, yeah, I would love to do something similar to that. Cardona would then mention a return of his own to WWE. I've said it from the moment I got released. I'm not trying to go back into WWE. I'm not doing anything to get back there, but I'd be lying if I said I never wanted to wrestle in MSG or I'd never want to have another WrestleMania match. If Vince McMahon right now or Bruce Pritchard or Johnny Ace called me, of course I'd have a conversation, but I'm in no rush to get back there just to say I'm back. There would have to be some sort of purpose for me to go back. Besides this injury, I'm having the run of my career, having the most fun, making the most money. I'm loving it. I'm my own boss. I've got the major wrestling podcast. I'm super busy. I'm having the time of my life. So for me to go back there and give back that freedom, it would have to be worth it. After MJF no-showed an AEW Fan Fest, many weren't sure if he'd turn up at the following pay-per-view. While he did, he would then appear on Dynamite and demand to be fired, with the company portraying this as if he's been released. Jake Roberts recently criticized MJF for no-showing that Fan Fest, which led to Jim Cornette calling out Roberts since he has a history of this. I didn't even do this to hop on Jake, with the crazy train stories because everybody knows them, but for Jake to say this, I mean, how can Jake Roberts utter the words? And for me, you don't miss stuff like that. This is your fans, your fan base. These people paid to get in there and you no-showed. Anybody else in the world, that would be a pretty valid criticism of MJF, whether he was pissed or not. But Jake Roberts, the all-time leader in no-show? Hold up, Q, I'm gonna be drunk if I'm there, or high if I'm there, or maybe I won't be there, or maybe I won't be there long. Following the success of his charity campaign, WWE star Sami Zayn has taken to Twitter to say, 5 years ago I started Sami for Syria, a mobile clinic in Syria delivering medical care to civilians displaced by war. I am proud to tell you, thanks to your support, we now have 2 clinics currently operating. Please donate at samiforsyria.com to keep this going strong. Staying on the topic of charity, Finn Balor will be selling signed ring gear for a good cause, with it said that Irish wrestler Finn Balor signed WWE Wrestling shin guard and knee pad, blue and black shin guard and knee pad, each signed in silver marker pin. Sold together with a signed Topps Raw Superstar Collector's card, signed in silver marker pin, 3, complete with a Graham Budd auction certificate of authenticity. All profits will be donated to the Essex and Hertfordshire Air Ambulance. With him looking to start a wrestling promotion, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. revealed on his podcast that Karrion Kross is on his radar. I was like, dude, oh, what's up, man? You and your girl are like the satanic, super hot macho man and Elizabeth. I said, man, I love what you guys are doing over there for real. So that's when he and I first met. So as soon as he was gone, he was one of the first guys that I reached out to. I said, hey man, whatever you sign, make sure the contract is up in about a year and a half. Following the gutsy performance of Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell, his friend and AEW star QT Marshall would praise him, writing, I don't care what company he works for, to go out there and have that match with that injury, that was inspiring. Proud of my friend. As WWE has been accused of planting negative stories about Stephanie McMahon following her departure from the company, it's been said she may never come back, and now the Wrestling Observer newsletter has reported that her leave of absence was up for a couple of months before she announced it. While we don't have the answer for any of this, and within WWE this was heavily denied and again noted it was her decision, she was not forced out, inside of wrestling more and more people are bringing up the MLW lawsuit, since she was directly named as the person who made the call to Fox, which MLW claimed led to an agreed upon deal with Tubi being cancelled. But something clearly changed when they knew she was leaving literally hours earlier. They put her on the board of directors, and even after this, she is still on the board of directors. She could have very easily, when taking her leave, also left her board of directors position, and she did not do that, nor did anyone force her out. Money in the Bank will be taking place on July 2nd, as Alexa Bliss was recently asked on WWE Deutschland if she was competing in the women's ladder match. 100% if I'm able to be in, if I'm one of the people that's in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I would love to do that because obviously it worked out very well my first time around. The last time I was in the Money in the Bank ladder match I did not win, but this time I'm hoping to be able to come up with some new tactics if I'm in the match and hopefully climb up that ladder and get that briefcase before anyone else. Despite offering to relinquish the AEW World title due to injury, CM Punk is being allowed to remain champion and recover from surgery. Speaking with the Associated Press, Punk said this about his AEW run so far: "They've rekindled something inside of me that I thought honestly was long dead. I used to love professional wrestling and I fell out of love with it. I think when you love something so much, you can hold on to it so tight it can ruin that thing for you. But there's almost no reason to dwell on that anymore. I like the youthful enthusiasm that everybody has backstage, and it has rekindled my love for it. So these past 9 months has been nothing short of kind of like a miracle. I'm enjoying every step of the way." Speaking of surgery, future WWE Hall of Famer Batista revealed he recently underwent procedures for injuries, as he wrote on Instagram, exactly 14 weeks post-surgery for a torn quad tendon and torn meniscus. "Thanks to doctors, I was able to keep on trucking, and now I think it's safe to say that I'm back in binds." During an appearance at the Big Time Wrestling event in Webster, Massachusetts, Bret Hart would make his entrance as a manager for FTR, where the duo faced off against Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson. Here's a video. Talking about his time working with Bobby Roode over the years, Eric Young told What Culture that the Star is underrated. Bobby Roode would probably be my favorite opponent. I think he's one of, right now, is probably the most underrated guy in the world. I think he's the perfect pro wrestler. He's a friend of mine, and it's gonna sound biased, but I've wrestled everybody, you know? I mean, you name it. I've shared a ring with him, and it's nothing against other people. We talked about that three-way between Bobby and Austin Aries, and me is one of my favorite matches of all time. Me and Bobby versus AEW at Victory Road from years and years ago was unbelievable for a bunch of reasons. Me and Bobby, Last Man Standing in Wembley, is probably my favorite TNA match, Impact match of all time. As you probably know, Paige announced yesterday that she would be leaving WWE and that her last day with the company would be July 7th. Many in the wrestling world have reacted to this news, as Charlotte Flair wrote, "Thank you, woman." Mandy Rose said, "Thank you, Mom. You're the best. Love you." Sonya Deville tweeted, "Thank you, Mom. #legend. Lance Storm wished her all the best for what's ahead. Cora Jade Diamante, Nikki ASH, and Leva Bates reacted with hearts. Jessica McKay wrote, "Thank you for everything." Renee Paquette said, "I love you. You were always one of the absolute bright spots in my time in WWE. Never met someone that was so much of an instant bona fide star. Can't wait for what the world has to offer you." CJ Perry tweeted, "I love you so much. Thank you for everything you taught me about wrestling. Thank you for breaking glass ceilings for women and inspiring the next generation of humans to chase their dreams no matter what gender, race, or sexual orientation they are. Love forever." Carmella wrote, "Love you, sister. You're amazing." And Zelina Vega said, "Truly a legendary talent in person. I don't think she'll ever know the incredible impact that she's had on people like me and so many others. My initial opportunity to work in a WWE ring was due to her story. Honored to call her a friend. This will always be her house. I love you so much." Paige would also hint at returning to WWE, as she wrote, "Goodbye for now, WWE," on Instagram. Speaking of her WWE exit, fans are under the impression that Paige could be heading to AEW. When Ringside News posted the story, one replied AEW and another said about time. She deserves to have a great career. Here's some more of the reactions. Another fan would reply to Paige writing, "All Elite. Another sad moment in WWE. They're going to put Paige in a ladder match in AEW. You're not a real fan of Paige if you're manifesting an AEW run. That women's division is dangerous. Paige has been cleared to wrestle. It's not like AEW is going to care if she has a bad neck. Definitely see Paige showing up in AEW at some point. I think AEW may be more willing to clear her. WWE were very reluctant to clear Bryan, and I wonder if they have that same reluctance with Paige." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.